Namaste and welcome to Madhu's English Academy. English is easy. This video is for class 10 students and children. You will be learning lesson 3 from your first flight textbook. The name of the lesson is Two Stories About Flying. This lesson has two parts and in this video you will be learning part 1. His first flight. Part 1. His first flight was written by Liam O'Flaherty. He was an Irish novelist, a short story writer, and a major figure in the Irish literary renaissance. Let us look at the theme of the story. His first flight. This story tells that one learns by taking courage and not by sitting idle. There was a young seagull in the story. He was taken care and fed lovingly by his parents. But when the time comes for the seagull to fly, he feels very scared and he refuses to fly. Somehow his mother finds an idea and persuades him and makes him to fly. Let us see how this happens. Children, in this video you will find the line-by-line explanation of the text. So, let us learn the new words in this lesson. Ledge. A ledge is a piece of rock on the side of a cliff or mountain, which is in the shape of a narrow shelf. So, this is a ledge. Brink. Brink is the extreme edge of the ledge. It looks like this. Muster. Muster means gather. In the text, you will find the phrase muster up courage, which means to gather up courage. Plunge, to jump or dive quickly and energetically. Desperate. Desperate means feeling hopeless or feeling very sad. Shrilly. Shrilly is a cry with a high-pitched and piercing voice or sound. Upbraiding. Upbraiding means scolding. Skim, to move lightly just above a surface. In the text, the surface of the sea. Devour. Devour means to eat hungrily or quickly. Plateau. You might have learned this in your geography. Plateau is an area of fairly high level ground. Taunting means teasing or insulting. Cowardice is the lack of bravery. As we have learnt the meanings, now let us look at the line-by-line explanation of the text. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. This paragraph tells about the condition of the seagull. He was alone on his ledge. He had two brothers and a sister, and they had already flown away the previous day itself. This seagull was afraid to fly with them. Somehow he had gathered up little courage and he tried to run a little forward and he reached up to the brink of the ledge. He tried to flap his wings, but he became afraid again. He became afraid when he looked at the sea. The sea was a great expanse of water stretched down beneath. It was such a long way down. So when he looked down, he felt scared that he may fall down and he may get hurt or he may die. So he did not fly. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. These lines tell about the helpless situation of the seagull. He felt certain means sure, he was very sure that his wings would never support him to fly. So, he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole. He felt very bad because of that, so he bent his head and he ran away back to the little hole which was under the ledge where he used to sleep at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, so his brothers and the little sister, their wings were shorter than this seagull's wings. But still, they ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and they flew away. Even after seeing all these things, this seagull failed to muster up courage. Muster up courage means gather up courage. To take that plunge, plunge means flight. To take the flight which appeared to him so desperate. So he felt very helpless to fly. He was not able to gather courage to fly. His father and mother had come around calling to him surely, upbraiding him, threatening him to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. So, the parents of this little seagull, his father and mother, had come around him and they tried to call him. They tried to shout at him with a high-pitched voice. They scolded him and they threatened him to let him starve on the ledge itself unless he flew away. But this seagull was scared that he would die if he flew from that place. So he did not move from that place and he was stuck to the same place. That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. So the incidents of his brothers and sister flying, his parents calling him, scolding him, threatening him, everything had happened 24 hours earlier. Since then, nobody had come near him. They all had flown and gone to some other cliff. And the day before, all day long, this little seagull had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister. They were teaching his siblings the art of flight. They were teaching them how to fly, and they even taught them to skim on the waves, to move lightly on the surface of the sea, and to dive for a fish. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it, standing on a rock while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle. And all the morning the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. So this seagull was left all alone on the cliff, and he looked at his older brother, who caught his first fish, and he was eating it very happily, standing on a rock. And his parents were circling around his brother, and they were making noise out of pride. All the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau, which was on the opposite cliff, and they were scolding him for his cowardice, for his lack of bravery. Oh, poor seagull! Did he manage to fly? Let us look at it in the next video. Until then, stay tuned to Madhu's English Academy. Thank you and bye-bye.